Studios have, to their credit, begun to acknowledge and admit the rampant discrimination and exclusion their industry practiced for the better part of the 20th century, and rightfully so. For ages, there simply weren't significant.
Mr. Campea, vas a ver. Let's see what this homeboy has to say.
The topic of Hollywood and race and gender swapping has been a hot button issue around fan circles lately. As a matter of fact, just recently, controversy erupted over the casting of a black actress as a mythological sea creature who is half woman and half fish. Even more recently, the controversy continued when a young actress who...
Okay, let's stop there. Let's stop there. So, homeboy saying that there's been some racist controversy recently because of Miss Bailey here getting the role of Ariel. People have been complaining about this for a few years since it was announced. They weren't happy with it. Whether that had to do with it being accurate to the first iteration of Little Mermaid, or they just didn't like it that it was a black woman. There was some of that, but there was more of like it's just a plastic representation.
is apparently not white enough for some people to play a character who is part of a non-existent fictional tribe of Viking-like people who have heavy Scottish accents and whose children have heavy American accents and fly on dragons.
Okay, you can't be fictional and be Viking at the same time. They're fictional characters, but they're set as Vikings, blondes and redheads. I don't know what. I hate to say it. Yeah, they don't look like this actor. I know what you're trying to get at is that, oh, this is so silly because everything about it is already fictional. So, why are people, losing their shit?
Retelling old stories that were originally created and told when no one other than white performers were ever given the opportunity to act in them. Now, the ideology...
I find this really strange that is this homeboy doing this video. I'm just going to be honest with you, right? I never would expect this video to come out. You'd expect this video from me, and I have those videos, right? I've broken down the hypocrisy and the racism of Hollywood for over 100 years. On a lot of my videos, you can catch those playlists, especially when it has to do with Latino portrayals. You have never ever talked about this on your channel, on your live streams. And I definitely have disagreed with your takes on and R&B. I'm going to be fair. And R&B's takes on authentic representation when it came to Andor or Wakanda Forever. So, yeah, homie.
Some actors, as a matter of fact, in the early days often had to actually hide their ethnicities in order to have a career. Take, for example, Margarita Carmen Cancino, an actress who presents...
So he's going to bring up Rita Hayworth from the 40s, I believe. And absolutely, that is true. And she got away with it because of her fair complexion. But for everyone that did that, there was an actor that didn't do that. Okay. And I'm already thinking of that same era: Rita Moreno, Anthony Quinn, Jose Ferrer. All three of those, what do they have in common? From the 50s and early 60s, they all won Academy Awards. That was a complete different time. Complete different time. And it wasn't just in Hollywood. It was everywhere in our society. That if, whatever your background was, if you could pass for white, the whiter the better, you'll be more successful. They used their fame for a lot of good, which you don't talk about, Campea, because you probably don't know. But that's all right, because that's why the Latino Slant is here. Minorities were mostly given roles as subservient maids, butlers, slaves, sharecroppers. But in the silent era, there are also the Sheik, Ben-Hur. Ramon Navarro was Ben-Hur. Lupe Velez was, had great roles as well. This is the problem with sweeping statements. It's much more complex than that, because the subservient maid, Hattie McDaniel, created an Oscar-winning performance out of being a subservient maid. She vaulted that and Gone with the Wind, and unfortunately, because of the racist day and age in Hollywood, Beverly Hills, California. She had to get her award in the back of the room. She had to come. She couldn't come through the front entrance. And there's always that group that was always fighting for with the Hollywood studio heads against this. So you got to tell the whole picture, homie. But then there's also example after example where people went against that and were successful. There were successful Mexican American producers as well as at that time.
The rampant discrimination and exclusion their industry practiced for the better part of the 20th century, and rightfully so. For ages, there simply weren't significant.
I mean, the past 10 years, you can say, have been a joke of plastic representation. And you can also say when there has been successes, it's because those properties were either already done and created, so studios bought them, or those innovative creators fought their way in and were able to get shows or films done. But it's not because of Hollywood changed. No, Campea. Hell no. So the system's still inherently racist. So fuck that. I don't know what you're talking about. Now I'm starting to get pissed off. Now I'm all right. This is fun. You guys having fun?
Or characters that were minorities.
Hey, homeboy, can you stop using the word minority? People of color? That is typical white liberal fucking do-gooderisms, man. No one is a minority. I know where this is going. I know where this argument is going. I know where it's come from.
This is especially problematic when you recognize that Hollywood has been dominated by white executives and producers.
Oh, it's the white man that's the problem. You know what? All right, homeboy. Hand it over. Come on, man. Come on now. I already got in my strong but little and mighty chat, my followers, they give me dozens and dozens of examples of shows that go against what you're saying. And guess what? Those are greenlit by evil white men. Now, I'm not going to say Hollywood hasn't been, filled of ignorance. That would be stupid on me. And like I said, we've talked about that. But what are you doing, man? And again, why are you saying this now?
So with that in mind, let's go back to the question posed by those people who object to roles being given to Black, female, and other minority actors for characters who perhaps...
Black, female, and other minority actors. This to me, right, what homeboy is saying, right? Black and women and other minorities. I mean, this is the fucking invisibility problem that we keep getting as a Latino ethnicity. It's like, we're the biggest minority in the United States. We're the biggest movie-going group in the United States. When the fuck are we going to get some respect around here? I mean, it boggles my mind. But I'm never surprised because homeboy is practicing exactly what he's trying to virtue signal against.
Shouldn't we be able to create new incarnations of classic stories and beloved characters, but this time have them open to everyone? If we... Shouldn't we be able to say that at least some of these rich characters can be played by anyone of any color or ethnic background?
Some, but not all. But I'd rather just have originals at this point, because what Hollywood has proven is that they can't even do that right.
Why does a mythological half-fish woman have to be played by a white actress? If your answer to that question is, well, that's the way it was done before.
They're not saying that. They're saying that is those people of all backgrounds, Black, Latino, I don't know what, love those very much. Not just white people. You don't make stuff just for white people, right? If you're gonna make new things, right? New creations with an agenda of I want non-white people to be in these, then let them be original and let the chips fall where they may.
It was Stan Lee himself who recognized that the entertainment machine was actively excluding minorities from their stories and movies, and he decided to create Black Panther. In an interview later in his life, Lee revealed one of...
A straight white man.
Lee and others have been telling us for years to open up the playground and take down the whites only sign hanging on the gate. And great things.
So this white guy told us to take that white side down. And I'm white and I'm complaining about this, but I have success. What is going on in this video, guys? I'm now perplexed. But because of what he's covering in this and what the slant is all about,
Stories start to reflect the real world more. By allowing minorities to play some traditionally white roles, we create a more accurate depiction of the world we live in, fostering inclusivity.
there was never a black or Latino Viking. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? A mermaid, sure. Absolutely. The real world goes through a lot of real world shit every day. They want to escape. They want to be entertained. I'm sounding like a fucking record here, broken record here. But it's good to have a diversity of storytelling. Absolutely. But through a mermaid, through a Viking, there's so many of our stories that are just not told. Start there, homeboy. Start with the 900th century Toltec queen, Xochitl, who led her own female army into battle as a queen, and they were all slaughtered, but she was such an amazing character, real person character, that she was beloved by her followers, during her kingdom. Start with Nezahualcóyotl, who is a 14th century poet warrior Aztec king who stopped human sacrificing, was an architect, a poet, a warrior. He was denied his kingdom as a little boy, nearly was killed. Start there, Campea. Why don't you do a video on him? I could go on and on and on. In fact, I have gone on and on of what Hollywood should do. I don't need to see another enslavement story of, Afro Latinos that were shitted on, or a colonizing story. I know those stories. Tell me something uplifting. Tell me something. Boy doesn't get it, man. It's through a very small lens. I'm telling you.
More. By allowing minorities to play some traditionally white roles, we create a more accurate depiction of the world we live in, fostering inclusivity and breaking down barriers. Number two, we enhance.
Inclusivity is a bad word now. I'm going to say it. It's a bad word. Diversity, representation, they've all been bad words for a while.
For exploring different perspectives, cultures, and experiences, enriching the narratives and challenging conventional norms. Thirdly, we elevate quality and talent over ethnicity. Historically, the lack of representation and systemic barriers have limited the chances for minority actors to access prominent roles, leading to even fewer opportunities.
Knowing by my girlfriend's experience in business as a Latina actress, she has broken the barriers with several of her roles that were written on paper as blonde women. But when given the opportunity, she got the roles. And that happens every day. So, John, you are not winning your argument. Your argument's just, it's kind of like this pieced liberal takes here and there and kind of make it into one sound. And there's nothing really cogent about your argument, because I can poke it every time. You talk about the last 25 years. I mean, even Edward James Olmos as Adama pokes at John Leguizamo's work, where he's played out of his ethnicity. Take your talking points and go make a fucking movie. Put your money where your mouth is. Stop telling fans, because you're really kind of barking up fans. You're really pissed off at fans. Hollywood's racist. Hollywood's bad. No shit. Then you got money. Go make a short. Better yet, get a hold of me. I will connect you with a Latino filmmaker writer. Fund that filmmaker writer 100%. Just do it. Just do it. Put your money where your mouth is, and just go and just do it. And be that white male that doesn't get to have any say, doesn't control it. I don't know what. Put your money where your mouth is and go fund a independent Latino production. because you're the one that's setting the rules. There, you got your arguments, goofball arguments.
By opening up the playground to everyone, production companies and studios can tap into a wider audience base as people from all backgrounds can identify with diverse characters. The real question should be, when you look at the history and the advantages that come along with doing so, is why shouldn't we?
I always just say, man, if you're that passionate about something, and in this homeboy's case where he yelled at his fans in a video, which is whack. Now he's, tempered, giving facts to his argument. I just say put your money where your mouth is. I just think that's what it always comes down to. There is major problems still in Hollywood when it comes to people who have different backgrounds and talking about their stories in a fully fleshed, organic manner that they still have problems with because they want to hold the power. But it's got nothing to do with casting, with non-traditional casting of what white roles were. Ultimately, that is a very ignorant way to go about a very complex and heavy issue of race in film. It's lazy. It's short-sighted. What takes more work and what takes more heavy lifting is bringing new stories and new creators into the business.